Okay, hi everyone, and here we are again for intermediate Pilates. I do want to start with a little stretch here that will also release tension in the glutes, particularly the piriformis muscle that's underneath the glute, that's part of the hip rotators. And you can do this without a roller or with one, depending on whether you have one available, obviously. So if you are using the roller, you'll come and you'll sit up on top of it, taking it underneath your glutes, a little behind your sits bones, and you can lean your hands back like so. If you don't have a roller, just start sort of the same way, but sitting on your mat. And in either case, we'll take the right leg over the left one, crossing the legs and keeping them tight together. And then let your knees fall over to the left, turn your head, maybe lean back, lift your chest as you look to the right, and then exhale, pull both the gaze and the knees back to center. We keep the same cross, right leg over left. And then as you bring the knees over to the right, you lift your chest, you look over your left shoulder out and down in sort of a curve with your eyes, and then exhale, pull it back. We're going to do that again. I'm going to take advantage of having the roller here since it gives you a deeper massage into the glute. And again, right leg over left, let the knees fall to the left, pick up your right hip, look over your right shoulder. You can lean back a little bit, and then exhale, come to center, and then again, you shift your feet, you take the knees over to the right, you look to your left, and exhale, pull it on back. Now uncross the legs, recross, so now the left leg is on top. Continue taking the legs over to your left, look right. Now you can use that left leg to pull the right leg further away from your hips, your waist, your armpit, and then exhale, unwind, and then we pull the knees over to your right, look left. Tip the body, rotate the spine, exhale, coming back to center, and one more time. The legs are together here, so it's a tight cross of the thighs. And you look away from your knees. I'm looking to see what you all are doing. So don't necessarily do what I'm doing, do what I say. So take the legs over to the right, you look left. And exhale back. Let's uncross, recross the legs. So now the right is on top of the left again. Take the legs over here to your left. If you're on the roller, you can kind of slide back and forth here to massage out the glute and change the angle of the knees. If you're not on the roller, just continue with the alternate sways, right? But this will give you a chance to really find maybe a part of that glute and what's underneath it that needs a little bit of release. It might be closer to the sacrum. It might be closer to the lateral side of your hip, the outside edge. And then we keep the same cross, right leg to the left, take the knees over to your right, and then roll up and down, cross cut the glute. So you sort of saw your body back and forth across the roller. Changing the angle of the hip, the angle of the knees will change the angle of the hip to see if you can find a spot that really needs a release. And then we come back to center, switch, and again, you're just switching back and forth like we did originally if you don't have a roller. But now take the knees over to the right again and go back and forth here. This time with the left leg on top of the right one. It will make a difference as to which knee is on top, as to how you get the stretch and the release into the glute. And still with the left leg on top of the right, bring your knees over to the right. And again, slide back and forth, sort of from your sits bone to below the hip bone, crest here in the back. And try to feel that you're releasing some tension that you may have acquired there from, our still predominantly sitting lifestyle right now. Okay, and next from here, we're going into a rollback. This is a version from Cathy Grant, who was one of Joe Pilates' students and became one of his teachers too. She also ended up teaching at Tisch School of the Arts up in New York. So you sit upright, take your arms. So the arms are actually going to be sort of like the fingers point towards the opposite elbow, but they'll end up circling around each other like so. And the heels will be grounded. We're going to sit up tall and then circle the arms towards you around each other as you roll back. Let's just go down to the base of the shoulder blades and then reverse the circles to come up. And then come all the way up and sit tall, reverse the circles, and you roll back down again. So this is sort of an odd one because you end up feeling that the movement of the arms takes you down and then the movement of the arms Forward and around helps pull you up. And then we go down again, rolling back. Heels dig into the floor. Go back here, maybe go a little bit lower. You can even go all the way down, shoulders, neck, and head. Switch the direction, lift your head, upper up curl. Try to go slowly through the part that's difficult. And then we circle back. I am not sure exactly how this works, whether it's purely structural or whether it's energetic or a combination of the two. And part of it also would have to do with having the weight a little bit forward of the torso and low. Makes it easier to lift than it would be if the arms, say, for example, were up here. But now we're going back. Let's go one more time. Again, just like using a roller to do many exercises, the circular action of the arms helps you feel that you can lower your body down a little bit at a time and lift a little bit at a time, because we're really trying to find that sequential articulation of the spine as you go up and down. Joe Pilates being a firm believer that we're as young and healthy as our spines are fluid, mobile, and strong. Okay, so from here we roll back into hundreds. So the arms can go forward. We curve the spine back down to the upper up curl, fold the legs in, and then pump the arms at your side, inhaling for 4 to 5 beats, exhale for 5 more. And then stretch the legs out long and up. The angle of the legs should be at an angle that's challenging for you. You want to feel that the abs are working really hard to support the pelvis from arching against the weight of your legs extended forward, but also that it's not too easy. Yeah. Now, if you're tight in the hamstrings, it might feel good also to lift the legs up here, even if you bend the knees a little bit, as long as you still feel the stretch in your hamstrings. So it sort of depends what you need more. Do you need more of a hamstring stretch? Do you need more of the upper ab work and the holding the chest up, the head up, or the low ab work, supporting the weight of your legs? So let's just go for one more breath. And you can choose different things at different points in the exercise. And now let's fold the legs in. We'll do a roll up, even though we did the roll back earlier. Stretch the legs long, reach the arms behind you and up. Bring the arms forward, lift your head, neck, shoulders, bend your spine coming over. Try to curve your body forward over your legs, head reaching out between the thumbs. And then down we go, the shoulders still sliding down the back behind you. Bring your body, curve it into the ground, and then yawn your body open to the ceiling. We lift again. You start with the inhale, exhale, before you're desperate for that assistance. Going over, rounding here. Desperate might have been a little too strong of a word, but you know what I mean? Sometimes it's like you can barely get yourself off the mat. And then come back down, roll yourself down, go slowly to the ground, have full control on the way back and down, and we lift again. Coming up, exhale. Each one should feel a little easier than the last. You should feel stronger, also more fluid in your movement. And then bring it back. Shoulders still sliding behind you. They drape down like a silk scarf falling off your shoulder, or like Superman's cape coming off his shoulder behind him onto the ground. One more time. Lifting here, coming up, and exhale through this movement. Dive it forward, suck the belly back into the curve of your spine. Your back of the body wraps around the front of the body. Diving forward low, get a stretch in the whole back line, including the legs, including the back of the torso. Come to the ground and circle the arms around. I have a TheraBand today. You can use it or not. And then let's pull the right leg into your chest. We'll place the band on the ball of the foot and the arch. The toes stick out beyond the band. And here we reach up with the leg. Let's flex the foot, reach the heel high, and then try to drop down through that right sits bone. Get that stretch in the back of the leg, and then point the foot and flex, heel ball toe, toe ball heel. And now soft point, and we circle. Inhale, the leg goes across the body. Exhale, low, out to the side, rotating the leg externally, lift it up high. And sweep it over, keeping the opposite of grounded. The leg draws a beautiful circle in the air. You do only a short, deep inhale and then a long exhale. At the end of the exhale, hopefully you're feeling the abdominal wall tighten up, contract in like an inner corset here, under the skin. Those muscles are working to support the pelvis and keep it steady. We're going to come to the top and now reverse. Take the leg out to the side, reach, exhale, pivot from your elbows, The forearms circle around here in line with the legs, or that leg, your leg. And reach again. Keep pushing forward. Try to draw that circle further and further out into space with every repetition. Coming on up. And one last one. Drag it over, lift it. Now take both ends of the band in your right hand. I'm just going to pet my cat Jolie who came over here, and open the leg out to the side. And keeping your left hand on your hip bone, you can rock the leg back and forth. And then pull the leg up, lift it to the ceiling, switch hands. So now the left hand holds the band. Extend your right arm, look over your right hand, and push the foot forward and away from you. Spiral the leg internally to get more stretch diagonally across your hip. If you really push that right shoulder blade down, you'll get more chest opening. And you can pull the leg towards your shoulder to get a little more stretch in the back line of the leg, including the hamstrings. Exhale, pull the hip down to lift the foot up to the ceiling. And you bring it high, reach up through the heel, stretch the back of the leg, and then you can fold it in. The band comes off, pull the leg tight, and then stretch that leg forward next to the other one. Give them a little shake. That leg should have dropped down considerably. The other one still feels like it's a little puffed up and floating off the ground. At least that's my experience, and probably something similar is happening for you. And we'll take that band now around your left foot, reach the leg up high. And often when you bend the knee, the hip elevates. So you may want to think of swinging your tail slightly to the right leg, which we would call the standing leg in this exercise, the left leg being the working leg here. It's about to work. And we reach up through the heel and down through the sits bone, and then maybe go heel, ball, toe, and toe, ball, heel. Let's do a little bit of work, articulation through the foot from one end to the other. As you lift the heel up, you'll feel that work and the stretch in the calf. Point the foot. Now here's the work in the calf. It's engaging, and then it's stretching as the heel goes high. One more. When you lift up through the heel, also drop down through the sits bone to increase the stretch in the back of your leg. Elbows are low, so the shoulders are away from your ears. And we point the foot to circle across the body. Inhale, reach, and exhale, go low. Out to the side, drag the leg up. Feel the weight of the leg, even though it's supported by the TheraBand. You want to imagine that you're pushing it through water. So picture that water separating here and then creating a little wave in the atmosphere as you move. Reach here, go longer, really open the joints and stretch the muscles. One more time. The arms stay grounded at your side to hold your body stable. Now let's reverse. The leg goes out to the side, open the hip, circle around. You'll also stretch the upper inner thigh when the leg goes out and the upper outer thigh as the leg pulls across the body, especially if you keep that hip down. If the hip lowers, then the stretch moves into the glute and the low back. We're looking here specifically with the hip down to get the stretch across the outer thigh. And lift the leg up. We're taking both ends of the band in the left hand, open the leg out to the side, hold the right side heavy, don't let it move, and then rock the leg just a little bit towards your left shoulder and away. Small movement, nothing too dramatic. The body appreciates small, calm stretches rather than fast, dangerous ones. And then we'll lift the leg up to the ceiling, switch your hands, cross the leg over, extend the left arm. You can come up hip, waist, ribs, keep the shoulder blade down, pull the leg back as far as you can, spiraling the leg internally. Feel that stretch. It might be hamstring, it will be piriformis, hip, low back, and also maybe opening up your chest here on the left side. So we'll pull the leg up to the ceiling, reach it high, get that extra stretch, and then fold the knee into your body, put the band aside and pull the knee into your chest. From here, stretch it long next to the other one. You want to just notice that you've created a difference. You're going to feel this leg now has fallen, so it's more even with the first one we worked with the right side. Let's pull your right leg in, roll forward and up, coming up to sitting for rolling like a ball. Hang onto your shins, elbows wide, and lift it slightly. Suck your belly back into your spinal curve. We look at the navel. Inhale, lift the tail. Roll to the shoulders, and exhale, coming up. The head and neck never touch the ground when you roll. Edges of your feet pressed together, even though the knees are apart, the width of your shoulders. And you breathe. The inhale takes you back, exhaling, lifting. Often it's helpful to think of starting the exhale as soon as the shoulder blades touch on the way back. And that way that exhale brings you all the way back up with a nice fluid movement, with a continuous roll. You just shift the direction. You're already breathing to come upright. Let's do one more. And then we're moving into the ab series. So the left leg goes forward, the right knee is bent, both hands on the shin, right hand to the ankle, go back slowly. You never fall, you work your way down. Elbows wide and up. Inhale, let's switch. Pull one leg in tight and the other shoots long. The legs move in and out directly in line with the socket, right? You can pull that leg in tight and feel that stretch across the glute into the low back. As you stretch it out long, try to open up the underneath part of the knee, right? So it's like the knee yawns open to the floor. You stay in that deep upper arm curl. Let's end with the left leg in. Pull the right leg in to meet it, one hand to each shin, legs zipper together. Now inhale, reach and stretch. The body opens like a hammock. You circle everything in, embrace, push up with your shins into your hands, and then lengthen again. And then wrap yourself in. As soon as the arms move, the legs move, and vice versa, both this movement and also the opening movement. So you stretch, you reach, fingers and toes are like conduits for flames shooting out of them. Stretch one more time. Exhale and pull everything in. Scissors, right leg up, hands high, left leg long. Inhale, let's switch the legs. And switch again. Really try to pull that leg over your head, over your chest, wherever it can go. And it's all right to bend the knee a little bit if that gives you a safer stretch in the middle of the hamstring. Remember to try to keep looking down and not up at your feet. Once you look up, you'll start to hang back, and then the front of your throat will feel it more as you flatten out your upper arm curl. Both legs up, hands behind the head. Pull the skull up, elbows down and in. Now double leg, lower lift. The legs reach forward. Draw an arc through the air with your toes, and then exhale. Trace that arc back up, trying to come a little higher up into the air. And you push the legs out. We're going slowly so that we're resisting just gravity dropping us down, and we're resisting momentum throwing the legs up. You want to really feel this for every inch that you move. You press it out, and you'll notice the abs start to knit together, together, together. Exhale, scoop the belly down, feel that scoop, and lift to bring the legs up. So scoop in Pilates jargon refers to a muscular contraction where you're knitting the navel down towards the spine. There's sort of a famous cue and image of pulling the belly to the spine. They're thinking about the navel dropping down and deep. And exhale, let's lift. And now into the twist, twisting to your right, left leg stretches forward, and then to the left, coming up and around, curving your body forward, as well as twisting and looking down along the outside of the hip. I think armpit to inner knee. So you lift and come up and not just sideways. Let's do one more time. Twisting to the left to end, come back to center, lay it down, and you can stretch the arms back and the legs forward. Take that big stretch here for the front line of your body. And now we're coming up again. So you can do a roll up. Lifting up, open the legs, elevate your hips if you need to for spine stretch. The arms are forward and the shoulders are relaxed down behind you. Look down as you exhale, diving forward. Then dives out past the knees, out between the heels, reaching here. Press through your legs, sink through your sits bones, and articulate the spine from the bottom to the top. It's almost like your back is against a wall and you're going to unzip it. Start with the head, move through the neck. Now you're working down the spine. Each vertebra flows one after the next. And then imagine someone zipping your back up against the wall. So you're going to lift and try to pull it gradually. So the belly gradually lengthens to allow the spine to grow taller. And let's go over once more. Inhale to start with the head. Exhale out, over and down. Dive here. Maybe picture a beach ball resting on your thighs and you wrap your body around the ball. Hug it like a child. And then we're going to come on up. Coming all the way up here. And then go ahead and lower the arms down. Close your legs And let's lay down onto your back for corkscrew. You could use your TheraBand here for your feet. Your choice. Fold the legs in, lift the feet up to the ceiling, soft point. And we circle the legs over to the right, around and forward, come to the left, and then lift the feet up again. So reaching here and exhale, circling. Moving to the right and circle around. Trace a beautiful circle on the ceiling above you. You'll feel this as you tip the legs. There'll be a shift in weight across the hips, across the sacrum. So you end up getting a feeling of a massage around the SI joints. You can sort of track around the sacral bone here. Really work there to keep the hips down and pretty much level. So you feel that work in your oblique abdominals. All right, and then let's roll up to sitting for saw. Open the legs, extend the arms out to the side, reach long through your fingers. We'll rotate to the right, dive over to stretch, reach the arms long behind you. Pull yourself upright, center here, and spin to the left, dive and reach. Again, this is one where if your hips are tight, you might end up sitting on a yoga block, a book, a bolster, cushions, whatever you have. And really find the connection from the outside of your hand into your leg and use that press to help you find more rotation as you pull your shoulder blade back behind you. Lift to come up, center, let's do one more set. So take a moment to enjoy the rotation, even with the neck, even with the upper back, even with the eyes circling back towards your hand. And lift to come up, and last one is going over to the left. You anchor down through your opposite glute to really pin yourself into the floor with that sits bone. Pulling up, center here, and then go ahead, lower the arms down. We'll pull the legs together and go over onto your stomach for swan. I'm going to show it also using the roller in case you have one. Remember, if you don't have a roller, this is the traditional mat version, the palms by your armpit. You stretch the legs long. You would pull the heel of the hands back, the chest forward to lift and come up, and then release yourself down. The back lengthens gradually from the bottom to the top to bring you on down. Now, if you have a roller, you can take it across the mat in front of you. And then here, the arms go across the top of the roller, halfway between your elbows and your wrist. Let your head lower down so your ears are between your arms, your head is off the ground. And then you widen the collarbones, you pull the shoulders down your back, and you lift to come up. Feel the stretch in the abs, just like you do in the mat version. But this is a little easier. You start higher up, so it gives you more elevation to begin. In either case, you should feel the lengthening from your jaw to the navel to the tailbone, and then bring it back down. Do one more, whichever version you're doing. The shoulders widen and the blades drop down your back towards your tail, and then release it down to the ground. Okay. Towards the side, and we're forward onto our forearms for single leg kick. Push the elbows, ground them into the floor, push down through your fist, kick the right heel in, pulse 1, 2, and down, and now the left, pulsing 1, 2, and down, now the right. Double beat each time. Holding the body steady, the pelvis is weighted in your mind as if it was filled with sand or concrete. The chest still pulls forward and lifts, trying to expand it, as if your heart was the sun rising on the horizon, showing light all around in front of you. Double beat here with the right leg, and once more with the left. And then let's lay it down, cheek to the mat. You turn your head to the right. Overlap your hands on your back at the low rib cage above the waist. 3 kicks, pulse 1, 2, 3. Push your feet into the ground. Reach the arms back, lift the chest. The arms stretch behind you and low. And down you go, turning your head to the left. 3 pulses, stretching out your quads with every single beat. Top of the feet press down. Remember, don't lift your legs. Lift your chest, lift your eyes. Pull the arms together behind you. Try to squeeze the back ribs in. That opens the chest, and then you go down to turn right. Elbows fall, and you pulse 1, 2, 3. And down you go again. Reach back, lift. And down we go, turning your head again, pulsing it out. Last time. 3 pulses, feet to the ground, arms back, reach back, try to touch your fingers to your toes. And then we'll bring the hands around to push up and sit back in your child's pose. Round your back, curve it, let the head fall. The arms still reach forward. Stack your spine from the bottom to the top and turn around for neck pull. So this is a harder variation for roll up. If roll up is still difficult for you, you can always take the TheraBand around your feet like so. Sometimes it's even good to just do that, just to feel how you can tip your spine back in a neutral spine. So if I'm using the band, we would tip back with a neutral spine for as far as you can go. Reach out through the feet, forward through the heels, and then look down, curve the tail up, and then round the low back, the mid back, the upper back, the shoulders, the neck, and the head into the ground. And then if you came up, again, using the strap, you would lift your head, you could pull the elbows wide, come forward, take a dive forward over your knees, feet stay flexed, pull the arms back to keep tension on the strap, maybe feel that extra stretch in the back. You're reaching out and down with the head, feeling that length in the back line, and then articulate up from the bottom of the spine to the top. And then if you're not using the band, your hands are behind your head, pull the skull up, elbows lift, hinge back. Now there's more load away from center and less support, so you won't go as far back in that tilt. And then look down, curl the tail up, roll through your back, inch by inch, one vertebra at a time. Go all the way down to rest the head. Coming up, fist to hand or hands behind the skull. Pulling up, push your hands into whatever they're supporting, and then dive forward, rounding over yourself. Still lift the belly into your spinal curve. Take a deep dive forward, bending and stretching, but not pushing down with the head. We have to protect the neck. Come all the way up. Use your hands to lengthen the skull away from your shoulders at the same time as you're dropping your shoulders away from your skull. So the neck stays as long as possible in this exercise. You can pull the elbows forward, even the arms forward on the way down. It's more important to have good work through your spine than it is to have the hands up higher. The arm position will change as you build strength into this movement. The goal here is to keep the spine safe and gradually increase the workout that you're doing here in your core. So go back and tuck to roll it down. Try to keep stretching the legs away in opposition to help hold your body stable on the ground. All right, and now from here, we're moving into our shoulder bridge. So knees are bent, feet are grounded, maybe 5 or 6 inches in front of your sits bones, arms lengthened at your side. Begin with the pelvic tuck, curve the tail up, rocking the pelvis, and then pushing the knees forward out over your toes. We're going to lift up to the very top of the shoulders in order to lift the sternum up into thoracic extension. The outside of the arms press into the ground. And now roll out of it. Roll to the inner arm. Feel the shoulders curve off the ground, the top of the shoulders. The scapula, which are the wide part of the shoulder blades on the mat, are widening as you lower the spine down between them. And then release the spine all the way down. Track down the length of your spine until the tail sinks into the mat. And we're lifting again. We'll add some kicks. So we start with the tail rising up. Push firmly through your feet and your upper arms, maybe your hands, and then lift the butt high, lift the chest high too. Fold your right knee into your chest, reach the foot up to the ceiling, soft point. You stretch the leg down, flex to bring it up. Point to reach long across the ceiling, down the wall, lengthen out through the heel even further. One more. Try to hold that right hip up. The right side of your body is cantilevered off the left. Fold the knee and now pick up the knee to lift the hip, lower the foot. Hopefully the hip bones are still in the same plane. And then we pull the left knee in, extend the left foot up, lift the hip with the reach of your foot, point down. Flex and bring it up, point to stretch it away, flex to lift it. One more like so. Going up, up, up with the heel, bend the knee, replace the foot parallel to the other one, push down through both feet, elevate your hips so they're level. Now roll to the inner arms. Widen your back, melt your spine down, sink it down, curve your way into the ground, put weight in the sacrum, then put weight in the tail. And we do another set of kicks. We'll start with the left side. So we pull the tail up, pull the knees forward, pull back with the heels, down with the arms. Neck is long, you're looking up and back. Pull the left knee in, extend the foot, flex and push the heel down, point and bring it high. Flex to reach it away, point to lift. The other leg is working like crazy, by the way. Point, lift, fold the knee, lower that foot, distribute the weight across your feet, across your hips. They're both lifted. Pull the right knee in, lift the foot up, flex to go down, point to go up. Watch that your left leg isn't falling out laterally. Flex, reaching the right foot down, point to stretch it up, lift the foot, lift the hip, fold the knee, lower the foot, stand in both feet, balance the weight, lift your hips equally. And now roll to the inner arm and work your spine down. Go all the way to the ground. And then we come up to sitting for spine twist. Rolling forward and up. Again, another chance if you need to elevate the hips. Extend the arms out to the side, reach long through the fingertips. Get taller as you inhale, exhale, rotate to the right and twist 1, 2, 3. Lift to center and then spiral to the left. Pulse 1, 2, 3. Back to center and twist right. Center here and then left. Try to hold your feet level, grounded, as if they're standing against a wall. You're not going through the wall with the feet. You're not moving your 2 pelvic halves. Last time to the left. The gaze goes down and around in a slight curve. Come back to center, bring the arms down, laying onto your back for jackknife. If this kind of a shoulder stand is new for you or difficult for you, we all learn it, elevating the hips initially. So don't worry if you're starting by taking the roller across under your hips, or you can pull just the knees into your chest, lift the feet up to the ceiling, reach the legs forward. We're bringing them up and over. You're going to go low initially, bring the legs over and we're parallel to the ground. I'm going to thread mine through, but then you would lift them up and then lower them back down. And then looking up and back, press through your arms and lower the spine down as slowly as you can. Try to resist gravity. That's where some of the work comes in. And then the legs reach forward. I'm just going to scooch forward a bit. And the legs reach together and forward. Keep them squeezing into each other. That gives you more pelvic floor, more transverse abdominal engagement. Coming up and over, the legs reach low at this beginning level for this exercise. Reach the legs up to the ceiling. Stretch them, lower them back down. And then you bring yourself down. Try to delay going down, but keep stretching the halo back and the tailbone forward. So imagine you can keep going further down along the mat with the descending tail. And we lift again, 1 more. Eventually, you're just going to go straight up as much as you can, opening the hips on the original lift. And then instead of lowering the legs, you keep the hips more open. On the way down, that's more load away from center. It'll be harder to work into this and keep the tempo slow. All right. And now onto our sides. We're going to work today on the clam series. So prop your head up, or if that doesn't work for your neck, you can lay your head down on your arm. Stack your knees, stack your hips. And we're taking your top hand in along the crease between pelvis and thigh. Index finger points in about 2.5, 3 inches from the pubic symphysis, and we rotate the knee up and exhale down. The pubic symphysis, it's just a little disc that's in between the 2 pubic bones there. So it forms like the closed position here between the 2 pelvic halves in the front of your body. So you lift the knee up and exhale, bring it down. The reason I'm focusing here is that I really want to work the thigh bone. I'm moving that femur on the socket instead of rotating from my waist, right? Because if I'm doing that, then I'm destabilizing the torso and I'm not getting the benefit of really opening and closing at the hip. The work here is hip rotation. And what that gives you, it gives you a lot of work here in your glute med. Now pick up the knee, extend the leg, stretch it, bend the knee, you bring the edges of the feet back together and then close the knee down. So you open, extend, flex, and close. Open, reach long, close, and down. Notice that if you keep the thigh in the same place, after you extend the leg, when you fold it, the edges of the feet go right back where they started. It's like we want to work precisely here with the body, not just so the shape is right, but then also so you're really working functionally through the knee. Once we close it down, you lift the whole leg up, lifting the foot with the knee. Bring it up and lower it down. Let's go for one more. Good. And then here, let's roll over onto your stomach. And we'll do a little bit of work here for the glutes. So hands overlap here under your forehead. Bend your right knee. Pick the knee up. Exhale, lower the knee down. Extend the leg. Now the left. Bend the knee. Heel in towards the butt. Pick the knee up. Press the left hip into the floor. Lower the knee and then straighten the leg. Now for the right. Bend, then lift it. This would work hip extension and also strengthen your glute. Bring the knee down. Stretch the leg out. Now for the left. Fold it. Lift the knee. Lower it down. Extend. One more set. Right leg. Bend. Knee up. Hip bone down. Lower the quad. Extend the leg. Now for the left. Fold. Lift the knee up. You might feel that stretch across the hip. Maybe you'll feel the work in your glute. Try to push the pelvis into the floor. Come down with the knee and extend the leg. All right, child's pose. Stack the spine bottom to top. Turn around to lay on your other side for the clam series. So prop your head up and check that your hips are stacked, shoulders in the same line, looking straight ahead at the wall. And you can slide your edge of your hand in along that crease between pelvis and leg. Index finger points in right towards the socket. You rotate the knee up and down. So you're really rotating the femur, the thigh bone here to pick the knee up to the ceiling and lower it back down on the other leg. All that without the hip moving. You could practice this against a wall and you would know for sure if you're able to do it. Because if you're not doing it correctly, if you're going back from like your rib cage or your waist, right, the knee will go higher, but it won't give you the same amount of work in the right spot. So we're even thinking here, you could even think that the pelvic half goes forward as the knee rotates out and up, because the bones actually work in opposite directions. As you pick up the leg, this pelvic half is rolling down and in towards the ground. And we'll lift it once more. And then extend the leg, straighten it, bend the knee, lower the foot, lower the knee. Inhale, work the external rotation, lengthen the leg, fold at the knee, edges of the feet together, close the knee down. Inhale to open, exhale to stretch, inhale to fold, and exhale to close. Lift, then extend, fold here, and close it down. One more time. Reach long, fold, and close. Now your fire hydrant. Pick the leg up and lower it down. Lift and lower. See, the waist should stay long, not shortening. You don't want to be picking up the knee by doing like this kind of a crunch. It's going up and lower. Your waistline is still long here. If you took your hand on your hip, you can push it down and then still be able to lower lift your leg. That's good. I know you feel it. I certainly do. And now from here, let's go onto your back using the TheraBand for a little bit of teaser. Wrap the band around your feet, both feet, and then lay your head down. You're going to pull the legs in tight to your chest, rounding at your back a little bit, and then start to come up, push the legs forward into the band, and rock forward into a teaser position. This is one of the easiest ways to come up into your teaser, and the weight of your legs is supported by the band and the work in your arms pulling back to tighten up the band. And then you can go down. It's a little harder to do this correctly. You want to go down slowly. So you don't want to just like fall. Right. There's no work in that. So instead, I want you to think that you're pulling the legs in slowly, still pushing out through your feet as you roll your spine down. So the legs act as a counterweight, a counterbalance as you go to the ground, and then you can pull the knees in all the way. So those are good options if teaser is challenging, and for sure, that's one of our most challenging exercises. Now we're coming up again. And now here, lower the legs a little bit and lift them. So we're going to all try to keep the torso steady as you lower the legs and lift them here. Press the legs away and then bring them up. You can't go too low because if you do, then the back will arch. You'll lose the work in your core and you'll feel it in a terrible way in your low back. And then from here, hold the legs in the air and we roll the spine down. Start at the low back. Reach away, maybe go to your shoulder blades, and then lift and pull yourself up. Coming up, take your time. And then curve the tail up, imprint the low back down. So you roll from the base of the sacrum to the top of the sacrum, maybe to the waist, maybe to the shoulder blades, maybe to the shoulders and the head, and then lift to come up. Now hold the legs exactly where they are and pull yourself up slowly so you don't just feel the work like in your arms, but you also feel it in your core. And take it down again, rolling back a little bit at a time. Go all the way down. Massage your spine on the way down, and then lift to pull up. Draw it up, lift the chest, and now put the band away if you want. We lift the legs up, arms rise, or hold it there with the band, whichever works for you. And now let's just try that lower lift again. Lower the legs, lift them, press them slightly down, and then lift them up. Do that again. Hold onto your thighs, bend your knees, open your knees, dive forward. We're going to also try without the band, doing the rolling back with the torso and the legs in the air. So ready? We're going to take the legs up and out, squeeze them together, arms forward. You can slide the hands down your legs if you need to. Go back a little bit, and then lift head, neck, shoulders, chest, coming up, and bring it down again. Try not to move your legs. Move your torso. Take it down. Exhale, lift. Squeeze the arms in around your chest to rise. One more. Do that again. Work your way down. Exhale, switch direction. Coming up. Good job. And then fold the legs and rest. Open the knees. Lean forward. Stretch out your back. Okay. We're coming up now here to practice. We're going to do a little bit of a stretch here using the TheraBand if you have one. If you don't, you can do this exercise without a band or with hand weights. Or if you don't have weights, you could use water bottle, canned goods, something like that. So the band's coming to the inside of the hand, and you fling the other end to the outside, elbow at your side, and we're going to punch up with the arm. You'd like the elbow to be in front of the band so that the band actually presses into the outside of the upper arm. And then side bend over here. You can push out into your hip a little bit, but really keep weight into your knee on the end of the band. Coming all the way up, and then bend the elbow forward and down in alignment with the armpit. So we're going to push it up, keep a straight wrist. Push your hip into the band. You want to think of the band here like a racing stripe on your sideline. Going over, the arm reaches low. Try to reach for the floor. Keep reaching for the ground with your right arm as you come up. And then lower the arm down. So punch up. And then side bend over and away. Now your stationary leg that's on the band, press deep into it. Try to pull yourself up from your hip, waist, ribs, one by one, and then lower the band down. You can always gather up the free end. And of course, you can choke up on the band if it feels like it's not tight enough, or pay it out if it feels like it's too tight. Take that stretch, reach over sideways. and then lift to come up, and then lower the arm. Just stay here for a second and feel as you take a breath in. The side that you opened, see if you can feel that you have more expansiveness, more capacity in the lung on that side. Breathe in and out. Feel like this side has more space in it. The other side feels like tight and contracted and constricted. So here we go. We're now going to take the band under the other knee. Most of the band is to the outside, laterally to your body, and then kind of gather up the band in your hand, and we punch up, side bend away from the band, take it along your sideline, and then lift to pull up, and then lower the elbow down. As the arm goes up, the shoulder goes down. You want to tilt your head over like ear to shoulder to start the movement of your spine so that the head's weight moves the cervical spine first and then the rest of the spine, and then start low to come up the length of your body. 2 more. We push up, press out into the band, take that deep side bend, coming upright and then lower. And you have to watch out for one thing. You don't want to be rotating the torso, because a lot of times people will spiral forward because they get a bigger movement in space, but it's not exactly a side bend, that's more of a rotation. So be sure that your shoulder and your hips are parallel here to the wall in front of you so that you're square to the camera, and then bring it back down. All right, and that's our time for today. So thanks so much for doing Pilates again. Any questions, hang out and ask. I'll see you